All right, so in regards to my last video, firstly, I didn't even expect that to blow up. Second, a lot of people are saying that I'm getting it out of context and assuming that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm about to go ahead and explain how this relates to godly marriages and God ordained spouses. So we know the story about the prodigal son, right? And I want y'all to try to keep up because they're going to have a lot in common with Onesimus, whatever you want to call it. A prodigal is somebody who has stepped away from walking with God, basically has been lost in the faith and now lives for the world, right? And that can be a man or that could be a woman. So you're now labeled as a prodigal person. So we know that Onesimus, whatever, was a runaway. So basically, Philemon was Paul's friend, okay? He was the legal owner of the slave Onesimus. So Paul interceded, keyword, interceded on his behalf and asked his friend not to punish Onesimus, but to forgive and to restore him as a new Christian brother. Here is his dialogue. So, God must have a special love for runaways, aka prodigals, right? The pages of scripture record dozens of people who were prone to flight from Adam and Eve's attempt to elude God through Jacob's escape from his brother, past generations of God's people on the run, to that inner circle of disciples who fled from the garden when Jesus was captured. The Bible is a collection of runaway lives. God's special love for runaways is beautifully illustrated in the life of a slave named Onesimus. We are not told why he ran away from Philemon's house. Eventually, he and Paul were united in Rome. Though we might crave details, Paul simply wrote that Onesimus became a follower of Jesus. Later, his spiritual growth caused Paul to call him a faithful and dear brother. Eventually, Paul and Onesimus decided it was time for the runaway slave to return home. Paul wrote a letter of explanation to his friend, again, praying intercession on his behalf, something that God is calling a lot of his women or his men to do for their spouses. Paul wrote a letter of explanation to his friend Philemon, assuring him that Onesimus would now serve him wholeheartedly. The verses highlighted here are the same ones that I mentioned in my video. Perhaps the reason he was separated from you for a little while was that you might have him back forever, no longer as a slave, but better than a slave, as a dear brother or husband. Paraphrasing here. He is very dear to me, but even dearer to you, both as a fellow man or husband and as a brother in the Lord. So, basically, if God has you in a season of preparation, if he has already confirmed to you personally who your wife is, who your husband is, and he's telling you to pray on their behalf, intercede on their behalf, whether you're in a season of marriage restoration, whatever it is, as you are praying on their behalf, God is letting you know, for those who that video was for, okay, for those in that season, he's letting you know that this person, this woman, this man, even though she ran away from the faith, your prayers are being heard for them. He is changing their hearts, and he is sending them back as full followers and believers of Jesus Christ. Don't say nothing because I just got out of bed. So what? Anyways, when God decides to send this person back into your life, the one that he confirmed and ordained, right? You are called to forgive them, not to hold their past over their head. They are no longer living for the world. They are no longer living for Satan. Okay, because God has changed them. They're now living for Christ. So this book is about basically reconciliation and forgiveness.